Hey, welcome. Hello. We are here with Julie Shechinah, and I'm here to do our Hall of Rockstars because it's often just really inspirational to hear other people's journeys, hear how they got started. So, Julie helps women tap into the power of their intuition. And so, we're just going to talk to her a little bit about how she found her way on that path and what it is that she's doing now and what's led her to where she is now. So, Julie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us first of all where you're tuning in from. Where are you based?
Thanks, Vicky. I'm in South London in the UK. Yeah, so not so
And
far
and
away.
so I hope I didn't completely butcher your last name. So did I pronounce it okay?
Yeah, you did. I'm not. I'm quite open with it. People say Shechinah as well, and it's whatever people say. It's fine.
So tell us, there's a little bit of a story behind your name. Tell us how
Yeah,
that came about.
yeah, there is. Well, I asked for a new name when my relationship ended, quite a long time after my relationship ended, because we were married, and um, and I asked for a name in meditation, and nothing happened for quite a while, and I kind of forgot about it. And then I was at a dance camp about probably 5 months later, and the teacher was telling us some words to a song we were going to chant while we were making the movements. And as she said the word Shekhinah, it just kind of landed on my heart. It was amazing. And I have no idea what she said after that because I was not in the room present with everyone else. I was in the ceiling. It was a domed tent, and I was up there just in my own space over the rest of the session. And I carried on the dance. And as we each time we came to that word in the dance, it landed again, and I just went flying up into the ceiling again. It was very magical. And at the end of the session, I went to the teacher and said, "Can you told her what had happened and said, can you tell me what it means? Because I don't know, and I've asked for this name, and this is it." And she nearly fell on the floor because she said, "Do you know what that word is?" And I said, "I've never heard it before." And it actually means heart of the divine heart of God, the dwelling place of God. It's all about the divine feminine, which is exactly what I'm all about. And I was I was also blown away. I was even more amazed when she told me about it. So I adopted it for my business, and I haven't actually officially changed my name. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna do that or not, but I'm known as this name for my business and for just various things.
That's fabulous. So actually, I've got it up on the screen, so I can just pop this. So this is your website. This is your
Yeah.
business name. So tell us a little bit about your business and how it came about, because obviously
Mm.
I know a little bit about it. So just for
Yeah.
the context of people who are here, Julie worked through that website course. Was it? It was this year, was it? The beginning of
Yes, it
this
was
year,
at the end of last year I
at the
started
end
it.
of
Yeah.
last year,
Mm.
and so obviously I know about Julie's business, but tell us a little bit about what it is that you do and how you came to be on that journey to do
Mm.
what it is that you're doing.
Okay. Well, what I do is I help women to connect with their intuition, and I use dance, meditation, ritual, and also our natural cycles, menstrual cycle in particular, but moon cycles as well, especially if you're not bleeding anymore. Um, and journaling, all kinds of practices like that. And how it started was when my children were. I've got two daughters, and when they were quite small, I started to think about how I was going to take them through puberty. And the first thing was I don't want them to go through puberty the way I did, which was not terribly, but just not with very much guidance because, like most people really, I was told about periods and I was embarrassingly told about sex. And I just didn't want to be like that with my daughters. So I started looking into my own journey and how I can heal and kind of become more complete in that way. And I came across red tents, and I looked for a red tent locally, couldn't find one, and so I began one myself. And so my reason for the red tent was just for me, for my own journey, but I realized I was supporting other women as well, and I absolutely loved the whole process, the setting up, the planning, which wasn't really planning as in work planning. It was very intuitive, and gained a lot from that and started doing other trainings. And so this business began to emerge. So that's really how it started. It's all really for myself and my own journey. So then I want to help other women to go on that same journey.
But I love that. And actually, so many of our businesses start in exactly that way. We have some kind of need, we find a solution, and then we're able to share that with other people, and it becomes business. And I think that's an incredible way for us to be able to work. We're so gifted and privileged that we live in this kind of era where we're able to do that.
Absolutely.
And I just think for the likes of you and for so many other people, when we've been through that journey ourselves, it means that we're able to serve people at a much higher level, because we're able to communicate with them, and we can really empathize with what it is that they're going through, and we can understand how we can best serve them, because we were that person however many years previously. So it's wonderful. So what were you doing before that? Were you working before you actually started doing that, or did you give something up and then shift over to this, or how did that work?
Well, directly before, I was mainly home educating my daughters and doing little bits and pieces of work when they came up. So anything that I could do, basically sewing or teaching or whatever, because my background is actually teaching, primary teaching. But I'd stopped teaching when my first daughter was born, exactly 18 years and 1 day ago, actually. It was her
Oh,
birthday yesterday.
congratulations. How
Yeah,
lovely. You've been
yeah.
celebrating, I hope.
We have, and we've got more at the weekend. But that's quite something as well, because it's I've raised a whole child,
Yeah.
and it's quite a thing to think that that's actually happened now.
It's
So
significant, isn't it? I remember when
mm,
our kids were really, really small, and I know it's a ridiculous thing to say, but I remember just looking at people with older kids thinking, I'm never going to have teenagers. Like,
exactly.
our kids are never going to grow up to be real people. They're just always going to be little babies. But
Yeah,
it's amazing to think that we do that. So
yeah,
yeah, I completely empathize with that. I think that's wonderful that you're celebrating that as well.
yeah.
And so in terms of the work that you're doing, I mean, I have to say, if you're on here and you're wanting to go and have a look at Julie's website that she created, your imagery that you had created for your website is some of the most spectacular imagery that I've ever seen anybody bring to one of my sessions. In terms of, most people are like, oh, I've got a headshot that I've used on LinkedIn for 5 years, or there's very few people that arrive on my course having had the kind of photo shoot that you had. So for anybody watching, do say hi if you're watching, by the way, and do go and check out Julie's website, because I think you'll agree, it's so atmospheric, and it's just really stunning imagery. What brought that about? How did that photo shoot come about? Because it's often one of the things that people really struggle with, is
Yeah.
to find themselves or find someone who can really capture them in imagery in the way that you have.
I think I was just very, very blessed and lucky, because I have a friend who it's a friend that took the photos, and I had no idea really what I was doing or what I was getting into. And she completely did. She takes the most amazing photos of her family, and she works professionally, but she gets involved in lots of projects as well. And I think she was planning to use my photos in some kind of project that she was involved in. I'm just extremely lucky, I think, that
But
I didn't even try to. Sorry.
she probably came with an idea of what it was that she wanted for her project, do you think?
I think so, but also she has done shoots for websites as well, and
Yeah.
I know another friend also had not. She's also got a business, and a similar work, and she had the same kind of photos, very different, but along
Yeah.
those lines. So yeah, it was very much from her point of view. In fact, I'd really like to go through the whole thing again, because I feel a bit more confident now. I was very lacking in confidence when we did that.
Would you? But I mean, you are absolutely definitely not alone with that. I don't think anybody
Mm,
feels really comfortable with photo shoots,
yeah,
even if they've done them several times. I think
yeah,
most of us feel really self-conscious when we're doing that.
Mm.
But once you've done it once and you can see what the application is on your website, it gives you
Yes.
so much more of an idea of the kind of
Absolutely.
imagery that you might want or that might be useful to you.
Yeah.
So whilst we're talking about websites, just let's talk a little bit about the process that you went through with your website, because obviously you joined my Rock That Website course. How were you feeling about kind of technology and getting online before you came on the course?
Well, I did your challenge first, which was absolutely amazing, and got far more out of it than I expected, and connected really well with. There was quite a small group, I think, on our one, and we all did connect really well. And I'm still in touch with, I think, all of them.
That's so
Even
lovely.
even the ones that didn't join the challenge. I think we all made friends on Facebook.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it was. I was in two minds about joining because I'd already started creating the website on one of those platforms that helps you to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention them.
Yeah, no, you can. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was Wix,
yeah,
and I was in half a mind because I had started it and I'd put quite a lot of years into it.
yeah,
But in the end, I decided that I was actually going to get it finished if I worked with you. And you talked about, you were never pushy about do my course. You were very straight about this is what you'll get from Wix, and you could go with that. And this is what you get from working with you and also being on WordPress. And so I decided to take the plunge and sign up. And I am so glad I did. Because what I realized once I was signed up was I didn't actually know what I was doing on Wix, which is probably why I hadn't finished it. And you gave me a kind of template, which I suppose is part of the course, but it's all about, you talk about the user journey. And
yeah.
when I looked at Wix, and you helped me at one point, I can't remember how this came about. I think it was maybe something I won on the challenge, but you went through my website as it was, and you gave me various pointers about where to
That's right. Yeah,
improve
I
it.
remember. Yeah.
And so I was just so happy. Although I already knew who my ideal client was, it was spectacular to go through that from the point of view of the ideal client looking at my website. And so now when I go in and start to create a page, I'm addressing it to somebody, and I'm not telling her all about me. I'm
Yeah.
telling her, describing her problems basically, and her, perhaps almost getting into her head. So that was priceless. I mean, I don't think you can put a value on that. So that was
Oh,
the
that's
beginning of my
lovely.
journey.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's great to hear that you're happy that you went through that process and that
Yeah.
you gained so much from it. Because I think a lot of people, especially when they look at the likes of Wix or Weebly or some of these website builders, it does look like it's going to be a straightforward process, and in many ways it is. You can get something up and running fast, but
Yeah.
it lacks that kind of strategy and planning, which is and the marketing input, which is what
Yes.
plays such a big part in Rock That Website. So and so obviously now that you've been through that process, are you feeling like it's given you some confidence in terms of growing your business? And I'm not actually, I feel like I'm leading the conversation a little bit. I'm not meaning to lead that or influence you. Just, I mean, how do you feel now about working online and growing your business online?
Well, I've got somewhere to somewhere that I'm proud of to send people to find out more. As for relating it to doing the course, it's so easy to create a sales page, and then take it down, and I can do that myself. I don't rely on anyone else. If I spot a typo, I can just go into it and change it. I don't have to ask anyone to do that for me. So I find that very empowering.
Yeah.
And I've got two other websites that I'm thinking about creating as well. So,
Yes.
I know I'm flying now. So
Yes,
with
that's
it,
amazing. And
yeah.
I love what you said about the fact that it's somewhere that you're proud of, that you can send people to, because I think what holds a lot of people back online is that they feel this kind of shame around their website. Maybe it's like 3 years old, or they're not happy with the imagery, or they just don't feel like it's really a true reflection of them. And so many people hold themselves back and become this kind of invisible entrepreneur online because they just don't want to drive people to their website because it just doesn't feel good. So so that's lovely. That's so nice to hear that that's your experience. Thank you so much. And so if people want to find out more about you and the work that you do, obviously they can go ahead and they can find you on your website. Is there anywhere else that's a really good place for people to connect with you if they want to learn more about the work that you do?
Yeah, I have a Facebook group, and called the Embodied Women's Circle, and that's a good place to start, really.
Brilliant. I'm going to type that in. I should have asked you this before. Embodied Women's Circle.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me pop it on and just check that that's.
Yeah, that should. If you search that, that should find the group
on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, and there's also connections in the on the website. You can click the Facebook icon, and it will take you there.
Brilliant. Yes, perfect. All right. So, well, it's so nice to hear a little bit about your journey, and congratulations on bringing a fully fledged adult into the world. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Enjoy the celebrations this weekend. And for anybody who wants to find out more about Julie, do either visit her website or go to the Embodied Women's Circle on Facebook, and I think you'll really enjoy connecting with her, because it's just been wonderful to have you in my world so far, and I'm just really thrilled with the fact that you love your website and that you're proud of it. You're going to go on and build more. I just think that's amazing. So thank you so much for being here and sharing a little bit of your story with us. Let me just check. We've got some comments over in here. Yvonne said, if you had one word of advice you learned in Vicky's course, is it? I think that's a question. I think she's asking, hang on, let me show it on here. If you had one word of advice you learned in Vicky's course, maybe she means, what is it?
Yes. Well, I don't think I can put it in one word, sorry. But I think the biggest thing I learned was what I didn't realize, what I didn't know, and all about that customer journey through the website. And that's invaluable.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because actually, and that goes for anything, doesn't it? We don't know what we don't know until we start learning it. And a website definitely is one of those things where you learn one thing and it makes you realize how much more other stuff there is that goes behind that, and that you still have to learn. Yvonne, hopefully that answers your question.
If I just say one more thing, if I thought I was signing up to a technical website course, and actually I got so much more than that. I really feel like I got more marketing training. So
that's wonderful. Thank you. And actually, I think that's one of the things that I fail to really talk about when I'm talking about Rock That Website. I think people, because it's a website creation course, I think people, I just don't really talk about the fact that my background is marketing. I'm not a techie. I was never really meant to build websites. I just kind of fell into it. So marketing is the thing that I really love to help people with. But thank you so much. That's just been so lovely to have a chat with you. And thank you for talking a little bit about Rock That Website as well, because I've got people going through one of the challenges at the moment. And Yvonne is one of those people that's on here at the moment. And so that's why she's asking those questions. So
well, it's well worth signing up to it. I would highly recommend the program.
Thank you so much, Julie. Lovely, lovely to have connected with you here today. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your journey. And thank you, everyone who came along and listened in. Lovely to see you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for having me.